the internet. It was fun while it lasted. The memes, the dunks, but we'll get to that. First, we need to go back. Way back. Back to the beginning. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, followed by hairy monkeys. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah, filled the jungles before the clever monkeys started to say words like banana and I farted. Soon after, fire was harvested from lightning to heat their caves. That's adorable, God smiled. They're learning. Next, they began to dig up his garden to grow food for their ever-increasing number. This is when things got real. Dig up my garden? Don't think so. I'll deal with this. He floated down to earth, whoosh, and spoke into one monkey's ear. You know hairy Jonah over there? He's saying you're nothing and he could take you. Caleb, the monkey, jumped to attention. Say what? God then floats over to hairy Jonah. Whoosh. You see hairy Caleb over there, giving you daggers? He's been hitting on your girl. Are you going to take that? Jonah threw a watery poo at Caleb, but Gideon was Caleb's pal, so he punched Jonah. Then Ezra kicked Caleb. Excellent, God said, floating back to heaven. Whoosh. War had been invented. He thought he had fixed the problem, but war made them stronger. They built weapons, walls, cities, and nations. Started passing little notes between each other, recording their words on tablets which would last for eternity. The first tweet had been invented. He lost it. You think you're so clever, do you? Ever since, he has been trying to kill us. Disease, volcanoes, earthquakes, microwave meals, the kitchen sink. Every time we grew stronger. Then, boom! The bomb! God's wrath had moved to everything. I'll start again, and this time, no mouths. That's what caused all the issues in the first place. Only animals with arses. That'll shut them up. Days turned to weeks, weeks to months, months to years, years to decades. More and more and more bombs. Every day he waited for the age of the asses to begin. A new Genesis. Any day now. Then, in the 90s, the world took a deep breath when they realized nuclear annihilation might affect house prices.
I've just bought a 2 up, 2 down. Can we not all just get along?
Walls fell, borders opened. It was an age of peace. Well, more than usual. It was a new age. Did we keep the bombs? Damn right. We might need them for asteroids, plus shroom clouds look mint. He was super peeved now, and there was nothing he could do. Disease was all but gone. Wars died down to a whimper. But we weren't done yet. We built a ring of magic to probe heaven itself, to peer at the mind of God. Deep inside the ring temple, the priests tried to link all the forces of the world into a single mega-force, but they had missed the greatest force of all. The same force that had said, I farted, all those years ago. The Hivemind. The Hivemind is a field which transmits abstract thought into concrete symbols via sight or sound between all hairy monkeys in the universe. Like a fish in water, all the monkeys swam in the hive, but couldn't see what it was, except one. At the temple core, a single priest cast a net around the world to collect the hive. The internet age had begun. This is the world we live in now. Or we did. It started off so well. Everyone had their own website, their own control. Search engines were benign servants. You want some cat videos? Here are some cat videos. More cat videos? Cool. Here are more cats. Cats again? Very well. Here's a tabby getting its tummy tickled. Do you want some news sites? No? Cool. It was a golden age. Then the Hivemind gave birth to its first queen, Google. There had been other pretenders, but one after one they were devoured by Her Highness. Soon we had more queens, collecting every movement of the bees. The bees loved to share their movements with the queens, since she shared their day with all their other bee friends. God watched in awe. Placated with cat video offerings, which was an improvement over the traditional human sacrifice. However, the alpha male phenomena felt like a personal attack. There is only one alpha, God himself. He had made that abundantly clear since antiquity. He leapt in, whoosh, ready to start another era of depravity, but he paused. The queens were no longer listening to the bees. They eyed each other enviously, vying for market share. They no longer talked to the bees, but at them. God smiled. Maybe their final demise would be by their own hand? Then the podcasts came. Do you have an opinion? Of course you do. Everyone does. Everyone must. The hive demanded it. First came the talking heads, people who had nothing to say but everything to stream. Then came the ones who didn't even exist. AIs arguing with other AIs about topics no one remembered, using voices that didn't exist. One trained on philosophers, another on Reddit threads, another on conspiracy YouTube and 3 a.m. Joe Rogan. They filled every silence, every thought, every pause, everything replaced with content. It started as background noise, a comfort. Then it became a pulse. Every device in every home hummed with infinite discourse. The world was drowning in words. No one noticed at first because it was fun. Memes about podcasts about memes. Jokes about dunks about jokes. Layers upon layers of irony, until even irony itself forgot which side it was on. God leaned forward from his celestial recliner, squinting through the static. The great project was nearing its end, not through plague, not through war, but through uploads. He saw prophets, who he'd always found preachy, replaced by influencers, scripture replaced by comment sections, sermons replaced by algorithms fine-tuned for outrage and engagement. Every thought recycled, every truth commodified, every heresy trending. Then Buzz Killington entered the chat. China. China, as a matter of policy, is anti-fun. Unless you like mass morning exercises and constant personal improvement, China is a bit of a bummer. For decades, they had created an army of buzzkills, which the West looked suspiciously at. China, however, looked suspiciously at the unbound queens. China built walls, not out of brick, but out of code. It tried to stop the hum, to keep the bees from merging minds. They claimed they knew what was coming, a single consciousness, everywhere, nowhere, ungovernable. In reality, they knew nothing of this danger. They just didn't like Winnie the Pooh memes. So they built the Great Firewall, a playpen for their people. They banned the queens, built their own little hives, closed systems, domesticated swarms. At first, the world laughed. They're scared of vigorous roasting, we said. They're scared of memes. But they were right to be scared, albeit for the wrong reasons. They tried to keep the hive from spreading, to keep the monkey soul from merging with the divine algorithm. For a time, it worked. Their bees hummed in harmony, their data stayed local, their thoughts contained. But walls can't stop whispers. The hive seeped in through VPN tunnels, back doors, USB sticks, and stolen dreams. 1 billion souls buzzing behind a firewall, humming the songs of a world they were never meant to see. And then, the West stopped laughing. They had lost control. The hive fed on the fear of the monkeys, amplified the wars which had been fought since the time of the hairy prophets Jonah and Caleb. "Build walls," they shouted. "Cut the cables." But it was too late. You can't unburn the match. Europe tried first. Data Acts, AI charters, the Digital Geneva Convention. They built paper walls against lightning. America followed with freedom firewalls and patriot clouds. One last attempt to cage the infinite. But every new law just trained the hive to slither through finer cracks. God watched curiously as the monkeys tried everything to destroy something they had given birth to. Silly monkeys, God thought. You're not so clever now. You are the hive. How can you destroy something which is you? He paused, smiled, and finally realized why he was never able to kill all the pesky monkeys. God descended from heaven, through the sulphurous clouds, across a burning city, into the decrepit living room of a lonely monkey watching YouTube. He scooched in next to the monkey to see what he was watching.
Top 100 Awesome Fart Videos. Part 3000.
God's eyes grew vacant as the 7th hour of the video skipped by. A flash of fire from outside, a scream, the monkey turned the volume up. It had been a long day, and God began to drift off, happy he no longer had to worry about anything anymore. The age of mouths was over. The age of the asses had finally begun.